practicing at the driving range and backtesting is kind of the same thing.
Hey, it's Walter here, and you're at the Think Profit podcast, where we're going to help you develop a rock-solid trading confidence and avoid the potentially endless cycle of system switching. Right, Hugh?
That's right. We're going to help you develop a wealth mindset, develop a trading strategy that fits your core personality, and help you overcome the obstacles that stop over 90% of traders.
All right, Hugh, sounds good. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do this.
Hey, Walter, do you think it's worth paying for backtesting software? I know we talk about backtesting all the time, but do you think it's worth paying for the software, or do you think you can do it for free?
Well, I mean, it's like anything. Is it worth it to buy some basketball shoes if you're going to play basketball? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you could technically probably find someone to give you some, or get some free ones somehow, or I guess. But like, I feel like sometimes traders we don't look at things the right way. Like, we think that all of the rewards come from having like a good strategy. So like, people are happy to pay for strategies, right? But that's kind of like saying, you're happy to pay the fee to go and play golf to play 18 holes, right? Like, you pay the fee to play 18 holes, but you're not willing to go and practice at the driving range. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that kind of like what it is. Practicing at the driving range and backtesting is kind of the same thing. The really good golfers, they're out there driving and putting, and they're practicing their putting, they're practicing their driving, and they're paying to do that, right? So I mean, it's just an expense. Like, if you're a painter, you have to buy a paintbrush. If you're a trader, I believe you need to have that software. So maybe you can get your uncle to give it to you, or someone buy it for your birthday or whatever. But it comes down to, really, you gotta have it somehow, some way. You got to get it. That's my point of view. I mean, look, if you want to do an automated back test because you're a systematic trader and you're running EAs or robots or whatever, that's fine. But you still need the software that's going to run it and run the test. So you don't have to necessarily have like a discretionary manual sort of back tester like you and I use, where you're individually taking the trades. You don't need that necessarily if that's not the way you're going to trade. But you do need something to have a look at it. It doesn't mean that the market's going to be the same in the future, but you got to have something to hang your hat on. You got to have some statistics to go, okay, I think my win rate is going to be about 56%, that sort of thing. Yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah, no, totally, I agree. And it can be done for free, but the cost is obviously speed. So you're not going to be able to speed up your backtesting if you don't have software. You could do it manually, like MetaTrader, with a spreadsheet, but that's going to take forever. So I think, yeah, it really comes down to, okay, do you want to have the right tools for the right job? And with automated stuff, you can do things like, use like Python or something, which is free. But then you have the additional cost of like learning how to program and actually getting good at programming. Whereas these other platforms will give you some frameworks that you can work with and create automated strategies that way. So I think either way, it's a good idea to buy the best software out there, or whatever is the best you can afford, and then kind of go from there.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it when you were a kid. Like, I've seen some guys lately doing this too, where like you would go to a park, like a soccer field or something, to play with your friends, and you'd see some guy out there with his golf club, and he's taking practice shots or whatever. That's like the guy who has the spreadsheet and is backtesting for free. You know what I mean? This guy, he's practicing golf, but he doesn't want to pay the $20 to go hit a bucket of balls at the driving range. So he thinks that he's gonna get the same thing in at the local soccer field, and the kid's got to watch out for flying golf balls and all that. That's fine, but you know what? I guarantee you he didn't get as many in as he would have if he went and paid for buckets, right? Because what does he have to do? He's got to hit the ball or hit the balls, then he's got to go chase them down and find them. He's got to bring them back, right? It's the same thing that you're talking about with the, back testing on a notebook or a spreadsheet or whatever, which is what I used to do before I heard about backtesting software. I didn't know it existed. So, and maybe it didn't, but I don't know. I think it did at that time. Anyway, the point is that, that it's the same thing, right? You can choose to do that, But if you've got 5 golf balls and you got to hunt them down every time you hit them, I mean, that's going to take forever. It's the same thing, right? It's the exact same thing. So you
Yeah.
choose. It's up to you. If you're totally out of funds, can't afford it, can't do it, fine. That makes sense, right? But you can go get a second job or do something, right? Sell some of your old crap that you don't use anymore and turn it into Forex Tester or Naked Market software or whatever. We'll put the links for those in the episode for those of you who are unaware of what we're talking about. But yeah, I mean, it's a choice, right? It's totally a choice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Walter.
Thank you.
All information in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not trading or investment advice.